We are now
Yeah,
live,
it's
and everyone can see us as well.
Okay, good.
When I say
Great.
live, I mean we are live in Adam. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wandering Monster, the monster manual of podcasts in America's test table. Boy, howdy, are we having some technical issues tonight? Um, my
I'm
sound
not even
seems
supposed to be
low.
here.
1 second. Flying cadaver. Hopefully that helped it a little bit. Um, I'll move my mic a little closer too. My name is John Baldisberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
Ian Servas.
Mr. Paschke.
So, just to give you a little peek behind the curtains, something I added to our interface decided it didn't like my video card, and our streaming software refused to connect to Twitch. Um, so I disabled the big sign that says, "Please follow us." On Twitch, go subscribe and like us on YouTube, but we'll say all that annoying shit at the end of the show. Tonight, we are playing a very cool game. We are playing Dungeon Plumbers. And to tell us all about the plumbers of the dungeon, we have with us Mr. Ian Servas.
Well, hello. I guess it's appropriate that I am streaming from a basement. That's pretty close to a sewer, or at least that's what it feels like when it floods. For people who are attending live on Twitch, we even do have the fantastic author himself, Wayne Roberts, joining us. He's going by the tag Dungeon Plumber, so it makes him obvious of who he is in the chat. So this is a fantastic addition to the OSC library. If you're not familiar with Old School Essentials, it is a retro clone of BX, or Basic Expert Edition of D&D from the early days of D&D. So there's been a revival movement to bring back this system in a more convenient, streamlined form, and it recently had a very successful crowdfunding effort. So if you want the core books themselves, they're going to be available from Exalted Funeral to get you started on your way. But Dungeon Plumbers adds additional depth to the game, and more importantly, it gives a fantastic diesel punk weirdscape. Is the kind of the two different vibes that you get from this module from this resource book. It provides additional classes. For the technical side of things, it gives you actual classes, not race as classes, but wonderful depth. It gives an additional expansion to the magic system with weird stones, and even a seventh stat. So the seventh stat that you gain in addition to your core 6 D&D stats is weird. That lets you tap into the primordial weirdness that is generated from the effluvia of the sewers, weird psychedelic mushrooms, and just the general weirdness of the universe. So there is a lot of new equipment, new items, including firearms, ranging anywhere from blunderbuss and black powder items to grenades, shotguns, rifles, and so forth. And yes, there is even a plunger gun. I was tempted to give one of you numbskulls a plunger gun, but I figured that someone would abuse it. So
I would.
see, so maybe you'll have to find
Dibs.
a plunger gun. Also in the book, not only is it a fantastic resource for running campaigns in all kinds of ways, from your comedic jaunts to very serious, gritty, like diesel punk. There are 2 adventures in the back, both that are poppy with wonderful dice and logos maps. There is a delicious dungeon crawl that's just clearly called Clear the Sewers. And then there is the Ice Queen's Commode for a higher level play. So you have a focused campaign and then just a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl, which is what we will be doing tonight, since all of our other playtests have been in the more focused storyline. So we'll get to see what happens when we release these 3 weirdos into a weird dungeon.
Now I do want to make some excuses before we begin. I just want to I've had a little bit of an injurious day, a little bit of an uncomfortable situation where I am. So if I seem distracted or any other weird bullshit, that is my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Just call me To Hat John, I'll be over here drinking Rhino beer.
See, this furthermore shows that we are real human beings and not some type of weird Twitch bots. So
I am not sensual enough to be a Twitch bot. Let's
No.
I have
Regrettably
some
not.
dice here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you to all of our followers. Also, just as a quick thing, for the people who are probably just now joining us, because I said we were streaming at 9:45 or 8:45 Central, welcome and thank you for joining us. So
You haven't missed much so far.
absolutely. See, yeah, that's exactly it. There's just a lot of weirdness, as Wayne is saying in the chat. So it basically you just failed your weird check.
I
So
always succeed my weird check.
absolutely. So without further ado, we'll introduce our cast of our 3 dungeon explorers for the evening. Gustav, would you like to kick things off?
Oh, most definitely. The name for the evening, excuse me as I scroll up madly, is going to be Gustav Planchette. My class is Undermucker. I'm a big brawling son of a bitch with a femur that's been caked in sewage mire and now acts as my mace. And I'm also extremely wise. As you can tell from my long, filthy white hair, although I'm still like a barrel-chested, sewer-loving guy. I'm getting up there in years, but that's just made me all the craftier.
Who next? Don't be shy.
Warwick Waro? Is that how we're saying that? I'm not actually Wario, but like public domain Wario.
You're all the
Love it.
Wario.
Store brand Wario, yeah.
Yeah.
Kroger's Wario.
Kroger's will go to
Simple
hell.
truth Wario.
Right next to the mystical
Yeah.
Perry action figure. I come complete with 3 heads of garlic, 6 torches, crowbar,
You
guns,
forgot your
crossbows.
mustache, Miles.
Where's yellow? Has a mustache.
What about
Oh,
your
yeah,
shot
I have a
fun?
mustache.
Yeah,
Shot fun?
we decided
Shot
that.
fun?
Oh, that was before you were part of
Not
the.
yet.
Sorry, we were talking
I'm
about
sorry.
how a shotgun's
the
always
shot fun.
fun, and I was like, a shot fun, if you will. It was a
And
dumb joke.
Warwick
Well, I'm
is
adding
a
it to my notes.
Tomrad, which is a modified thief class. So they have skills that are much more attuned for surviving and spelunking in sewer-like environments. And then last but not least, we have
Malamerad, the Mysogen. I am a humble servant of the fungi. I study moss, lichen, fungus, slime, spores, all of the above, in seeking unity with our otherworldly neighbors. I'm a mycomage, which means I use shroom magic. Um, I am like if you close your eyes and you picture a caricature of a hippie from the 60s, that is who I am. Like gender is impossible to tell. But I am wearing a leather halter top, low slung fungus leather pants, like mushroom leather, lots of beads, um uh my hair is braided into like a weird shape, so like it goes up into the shape of a lion's mane mushroom. um but surprisingly, like, I'm super clean. I do smell very strongly of patchouli, like
Ain't a damn thing
painfully
wrong with
strongly.
that.
Painfully strong. Like, I smell so strongly of patchouli that you assume that it smells like marijuana under the patchouli. You know this. You know.
It's not a very effective, smell off. Anyway, yeah.
And for people, because I'll say this a couple of times during our stream tonight, just because I know people come and go, but Wayne is very graciously offering for discounted copies of Dungeon Plumber. So there are some scratch and dent copies. As if you've bought anything from a printer in the last 2 years, you know that printers have been struggling producing our independent goods, and some of them are just naturally scratched and dented, but the glorious price of $10.
Good night.
And
And
I
it's a
will
good
tell
book.
it's. I mean, it was almost undersold to me. I mean, it's 68 pages, including solo rules, so you can play by yourself. And yeah.
Always more fun when you get to play with yourself. I've always
See, I was
And
said
trying
that.
to figure out a good pun for that. There are tons of generators in here, lots of fun classes.
yep.
It's sad that we only have 3 players because I wanted to make a pre-gen for all of them, and there are classes that, including the Gut Rot Gourmand classes, that use a lot more of the weird diesel punk tech that unfortunately won't make an appearance today. But at least we have our.
I will say that if you are going to solo play, a good band to use as a soundtrack for solo play is Bog Wizard, who did our intro and outro music, Barbaria, off their album Purple Miasmic Fog or Miasmic Purple Fog. Can't remember. But it's a good album. The other thing I will say is if you're listening and you have like a really funny action or joke that you want Charles to do something super dumb or weird and think it will be funny, let us know. Maybe it'll happen.
I'll
And
think
for
about it.
people who are listening to the recording, the way to access one of these exclusive copies, and as I have been corrected, the damage on these books, it's just some of the edges in the cover was a little bit rough cut. So perfectly fine. I've got one, and Bernard here has one as well. So you can email Wayne at dungeonplumber@gmail.com, and you can find out more information. Or if you're on the Book of Faces, you can just go to facebook.com/dungeonplumbers. So with that, unless there's any questions from the peanut gallery, we can begin. So, your troop of dungeon cleaning experts, or at least sanitation engineers, almost too lofty of a title, are under the recent employ of Charles Montgomery Burns, as you are working in the city of Torgon, is having a massive uh, urban restoration project. Some of the older and more dilapidated areas of town are being cleared and rebuilt, and with that, infrastructure needs to be reconstructed. One area that is usually overlooked in the city, but will have devastating consequences later, is the sanitation system. So no one's really taken a look under the hood in this sector's sewers. So there's bound to be clogs, broken equipment, and unsavory things that would cause a major headache to the urban planners later. So, as you are given a writ of work that allows you to keep any plunder and items that you find, in addition to a very healthy salary, you find yourselves at the beginning of one of the sewer's many entrances. Begins with some slimy stairs downward, and you can hear running water. And as you descend that staircase, you find yourselves smack in a long ranging tunnel. There is a channel for the effluvia and sewer waters that is running downhill, and it is going one direction forward. With your torchlight, you can see that this tunnel extends about 60 feet before it looks like, from your view, goes to a T, or it bifurcates. It's kind of hard to tell from where you are. So you're going to have to just pull up the britches and wade in the muck.
Okay. I'll lead the way because I think I have like a double vision bonus when I'm underground. So I'll gladly, and I have a lantern and a flask of oil in my equipment, so be happy to lead y'all to that intersection up ahead if you want.
And Gustav is a fun thing. You have this hardened femur that you have actually at once belonged to an Odiug. You had pried it from it after a hard-earned battle, and it is the one bone weapon that you can fight with that won't shatter on you. So it is definitely a prized possession.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna smack the hell out of something with that eventually. Trust me.
I'm actually here as part of a survey. I'm trying to survey the natural ecology of the fungus down here.
Uh, Go ahead and make me a weird check. So what you're going to be doing is rolling d20, and you're trying to get your weird score or less.
I am definitely under my weird score. I rolled a 6, and my weird score, if I can actually talk, is a 16.
So as you breathe in the air, there's definitely that undercurrent of human effluvia, smell of mold and decay, but definitely your very sensitive nose picks up that faint scent of spores. You know that somewhere in here, hard to tell because you're just here on the edge of the system, there's definitely a very large fungal colony of some kind. And it starts to perk up all of your senses in your amorphous uh, gender. Whatever you have, it's tantillated.
I am. Well, this is simply tantalizing, don't you think? I think
I've
I'm
always
slowly
found
becoming hedonism bot.
it. Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
I just know as a
Wow.
long time sewer hand that there's gonna be treasure aplenty down here, and there ain't no treasure like sewer treasure. I'll tell you that much. It's where I got this femur that's crusted in filth.
So it sounded like from marching order that Gustav, you're taking point and you're being followed by who?
Mal is next.
So Warwick, you're going to be in rear.
Wow.
Are you budget Wario or
Oh
budget
yeah.
Waluigi?
Yes.
I mean, kind of in between, you know. He's a little chubby, like slightly shorter Waluigi.
We should have pulled some stock images from the book to put in your little box because we've been leaving that box blank. But there's definitely the picture of a tunnel right in the book looks like Wario to me to a strong degree. So I wanted to make sure that we made some type of reference. So, all right. So you advance down the corridor. The effluvia is up to just about above your ankles and at the edges. In the middle of the channel, it goes all the way up to mid shin to knee, depending on your height. At the end of this corridor, it begins to bifurcate to the left or to the east and to the west. And you can see that it's like you're almost at a circular bend in the sewer. And off to the east, you see that around the bend, it looks like there's a landing of some kind and some type of area just in the corner of your vision. The other direction, you just hear more running water.
Well, I say we go get at that landing.
Sorry. How deliciously absurd. I prance towards the landing.
All right. So you go around the bend to the east, and you see that this landing goes up, and it is about 30 feet, maybe with some type of platform for holding equipment for going deeper into the dungeon. But there are tables here and various shapes and sizes. Some just look to be like broken down furniture that was stuck together, but it looks like a gambling parlor of some kind, as if people were having some type of clandestine or illegal gambling section. On top of the tables are old moldering cards. There are some knuckle bones and dice of different kinds, and something that looks like a rudimentary roulette table. There are
Are there any coins?
Well, would you like to go and make a search for me? So
Nat 20 for coins.
you know what? Normally we do that something like that on a D6, but with an Act 20 like that, randomly, you do find hidden underneath a bunch of old chips, like poker chips that look like they've been made of cross section of bone. You find 6 very tarnished gold coins.
Pling.
I want to pick up one of
yeah.
the cards and just give it a good sniff.
While you are searching, Warwick, you do notice with your perch and actually acute senses, and also since you rolled a nat 20 in a situation that usually you use something different, you do notice that behind this roulette table, there looks to be like a outline of a door. Like there is a hidden door that seems to be recessed in the wall and obscured just a way that the average person wouldn't find it. Although, as you are smelling the cards, Malamorand, you definitely get that musty scent of finger oil that has left and moldered over many years. Perhaps this is a long abandoned gambling post, or maybe this is just an unlucky stack of cards that has not been touched.
Interesting.
I lick the card.
So you lick it, and you, for a brief moment, go ahead and make me a weird check.
10. 6 under.
So you have this very weird brief image of a person who lost their entire life savings on a hand of cards and pulled out a dagger and stabbed the dealer right in the chest, and then was promptly beaten to the death by a bunch of ruffian guards. You just see this person bleeding out, and they still clutch onto the cards as just maybe somehow they'll get lucky one day, but their luck had run out.
This is exactly the price of greed and attachment to physical objects. If we all embraced the shroom, all of this hate and pain would be gone.
Okay, Joe Rogan.
No, I didn't say DMD. Hey, you shut your filthy fucking mouth. Don't compare me to that asshole.
I would never do that. Only in mockery. And OG Wandering Monster fans may recall that we made quite a few Joe Rogan jokes in those days because he was still funny.
He still is our manager.
Manages
So
our
if you have any
complaints
problem
department.
with anything we say, you just send your complaint
At
straight
Joe
to
Rogan,
at Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Consult our complaints department. So I get a strength bonus against doors, I think. So I'd like to go to that maybe kind of could be door and maybe give it a little pusheroo and see what happens.
So I'm assuming Warwick has shown you where this door is, correct, Warwick? Or you can get it yourself?
Warwick at this point would probably have his plunger out and he's plunging the door.
Oh.
So
now, for people who aren't familiar with old school or OSR type games, this does employ the traditional alignment system of lawful, neutral, and chaotic. Chaotic is not necessarily inherently evil, but inherently selfish and out for themselves. Neutral being either a balance of lawful and chaotic, or just self-interested but not anti-helping people, and of course lawful being pro-society, pro-social, etc. So 2 of you are chaotic and 1 of you are neutral, because it seemed how apropos for how most of these games have played. So I won't ever assume that you're actively helping one another unless you explicitly state it.
Fair. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
So
that
as you
makes
are
sense.
preparing to, as you're looking over, you see Warwick pull out a plunger. There's a slurping sound as you stick it on the door, and you just plunge the ever-loving hell out of this door until it slides out and in. You get a burst of musty air, and it smells like it smells like it hasn't been entered, the space hasn't been entered in quite some time. And you can see in the chamber beyond, with a little bit of your torchlight, there's a thick layer of dust on the floor.
Okay. So it smells musty.
It smells
Well, we're in a
musty.
sewer. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I'd
compared to the
probably.
bad fetid dungeon air, that's distinctly like it's been sealed off for a time, and it's completely different smell of air.
Could it smell better?
That's relative.
Maybe I'm into it.
I mean,
Yeah. Let out a nice wah, and then motion for the other people to see the door that opened.
Yeah, I'll go over there.
so this space, there are along. So it opens up into a space that is approximately. mm, let's say you've got 10 by 80, kind of like a big L shape of a room with two large support columns in the middle. Along one side of the wall are old bedrolls that have just been moth eaten and completely mildewed away. And you see that there are various boxes and crates on the short leg of the L that look to be moldering. Around the long side of the L, and from the corner of your eyes, you can see more furniture and items. Is anyone going into the space?
It's moldering, baby. You know it.
So, are you going in first, Melmorad?
Yes. It's Mal.
All right, Mel.
I'll let the dumb hippie check for booby traps.
I traipse in.
So,
Trippingly on the toes.
you float into the room, and your senses are, of course, accosted by the very drab, mildering items that are just kind of strewn about. And when you go around the corner on the length of this L, you see that there is a side room that has a much better station. Is this someone of better class was residing there? There is an actual bed frame with a mattress on it. Of course, again, mildewed to hell and back. And just decayed. But at the foot of the bed is some type of locker or like a lock box. Off to the side of that, there is a writing desk.
What kind of mold is on the bed?
It's mostly greenish. Are you asking, does it seem like a dangerous mold of some kind, or are you just wanting?
I have two questions.
All
Two
right.
questions. First, I'm asking to see if I can tell if it's a dangerous mold that will spread and be hazardous to the health of city and builders. Secondly, I'm kind of asking if I can grab my fungi of the far realm to randomly roll what kind of fungus I'm finding.
Well, this is going to be more mildew than fungus. Your fungus sense that you were getting earlier, you can tell that this is moving further away from that delicious mushroom colony that you detected earlier. Make me an intelligence check.
Oh no. Oh, that's on. Okay, it's only 2 over.
So you are not sure about this mildewy stuff. It's not too powdery. It's not too thick. But you know that it could be. I mean, so as asbestos, it's and that will kill you eventually. So you are very conflicted about if it's safe to enter this space, or if it's been safe to even breathe the air in this space. And you start to work up the inklings of a panic attack.
Okay. Um. Okay. Do I have any drugs? Not any that will help with. Actually, okay. Um, as you guys come in and witness the elf like examining the bed, he starts to hyperventilate, pull a long wooden like Gandalf style pipe out of his backpack, uh, and put something in it and light it and begin puffing, kind of worriedly.
Hell
I
yeah, my man.
I need to know if which bag of shrooms you're electing to pull from.
I'm not smoking, or I'm not smoking. I'm not smoking either hallucinogenic shrooms or oh, I guess that probably is like small sack of mushroom jerky. Probably not. It's probably just like tobacco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just smoking some tobacco. There is. I have a mushroom pipe on my equipment list, and it doesn't list any kind of anything to smoke
In
other
my
than
head, I figured
incense.
you just smoke mushrooms or something.
I mean, yeah, that's what I figured too. But I figured this is like
Part of the game, part of the fun is interpretation, man.
nicotine mushrooms.
Nicotine mushrooms.
Oh no, they're nitro
Gross.
shrooms. Nitro shrooms from Monster Hunter.
So, uh, all right. So while you are puffing on your pipe, I haven't heard anyone else enter into that space. So, Gustav and Warwick, you're still outside this hidden area. Are you pursuing your companion, or are you staying here with this abandoned gambling equipment?
Well, I haven't heard any like death cries yet, so I figure that probably it's safe. I'm gonna hustle on in there. And you said that at the long arm of the L there were items.
Well, so when you turn the corner, you see that there is more dilapidated furniture, something that kind of looks like a settee, looks oddly out of place, perhaps a fine piece of furniture at one point, but it looks like some type of rats have gotten through and chewed all the way through it. There are some barrels that were next to the settee as well, and then in that room where Mao is smoking his pipe, you can see a bed, a writing desk, and a small foot locker of some kind.
Let's get at that footlocker.
All right.
Is
So
it locked?
well, you have to try to open it to know if it's locked or not.
That's true. I would like to try to open it.
It is locked. It doesn't. It seems to have an internal lock in it. So you see like a keyhole where there'd be some type of medium-sized skeleton key that would go inside of it. Um, you can see that it has not been moved in some time either. Is that same dust that cakes everything is caked on this as well.
How sturdy does the lock mechanism, like the frame of it, seem? Is it like the type of thing that I could just smash open because it's made out of like wood?
It's metal reinforced wood,
Okay.
so you could certainly crash it open. But if there's anything fragile inside, like glass or other baubles, you have a significant chance of ruining them. Since I'm assuming you're going to beat it with your giant bone club.
Yeah, probably. All right, let's have a quick chaos conclave over here, I guess. Does what's John's character's name?
Mal.
Mao. Does Mao, I'm going to say, do you have any experience with lock picking?
I think that the stereotype of elves as dishonest, untrustworthy is completely beneath you. Actually,
This was more of a working man to working man question. I'm sorry if it, seemed
I
off base
find
for that
the
reason.
assumption that I would work disgusting.
I do too.
Also, no, I don't have any.
Okay.
Any. I had a friend who had a chastity belt for a while, and I got fairly good at like unlocking it quick, but
Yeah.
that
All
doesn't really
right.
help with the lockbox.
All right.
Can we assume I'm in earshot?
Yeah.
You hear him come over, go, "Oh yeah," and then pulls out his lockpicks
Hell yeah, my man.
because I have a
That's
lockpicking set.
excellent. That's excellent.
Oh,
See,
remind me to tell you a story about lockpicks after game.
teamwork makes the dream work.
So, if you would like to try to pick the lock, you're going to be making a trapsmith check. So, for
And
you,
that's a D6, not a
that's
D20.
actually going to be the one time where you're using percentile, and your target is to roll a 30 or lower on your D100.
So 2 D10s.
Or since it's going to be 30 or less, you can even just roll D10 and get 3 or less since you're at an even 30.
That's 40.
So it is a old rusty lock, and you're having a hard time turning the tumblers. You're getting some clicking, but you're not able to get it.
I don't suppose that me like smacking the lockpicks with my club would help the process. That's a joke. Yeah. No, I don't think that's how
So
picking locks.
I
works.
hold up my crowbar.
So you're not able to
You do?
force that. You're not able to lock pick that. You'd have to force it.
Okay, I have a crowbar as well. Thanks for all the
That's
inventory
a lot
items.
easier than smashing it open, I would say.
Yeah.
In fact, we could even use the bone and the, like tap it in there and get it like you're opening a crate, you know?
As you are doing that,
Mhm.
Mao reaches into his pack, still puffing away, and pulls out a book with several flat mushrooms growing on it, and flips it open and begins to recite poetry to help inspire you.
Which thing of poetry?
You okay? So, full disclosure, um, oh, I see. Yeah. The tasteful one. This is tasteful. This one's tasteful. It's not the scroll. You know what? No, sorry. I take that back. It is the scroll. I am
Please
reading
tell people what I am referring to.
I am
What is in
reading
your equipment?
I am reading off of a scroll of deeply erotic poetry, complete with lurid drawings, which I pause reading to describe the drawings to you.
Well, do we get to look at them too, or
I
just
mean, later after the
okay?
stream.
All right, okay, all right. That helps. That helps a lot.
So you're unfortunately unable to lockpick this. So
Maybe it
you're
was
either going to have
distracting.
to force this and risk damaging the things inside, or just leaving it.
Well, it's kind of the same result either way, isn't it? Even if we do destroy everything inside.
Yeah.
That's
We
right.
have nothing to lose. Oh yeah.
It makes me so happy.
All right. So what's your plan of action to get this chest open?
Crowbar, yeah.
I hold up the crowbar, hand it to you.
Who's
Okay.
crowbar?
My man Wario's got a crowbar in his inventory, right?
Oh, I didn't know if he was using it or he was handing it
He's
to you,
handing it
Gustav.
to
Gustav.
yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah.
And I want to mention that I'm reading these poems now like an exorcist, just like shouting erotic verse at this lock.
The only thing that would make it better is if you were shouting it in German, because
Well, I am possessed by the power of that erotic scroll, and so I jam my stiff crowbar deep into the cleft of that treasure chest,
Say oh yeah, say oh yeah.
Ooh.
and I jimmy
Hot.
that sucker open.
your bosom heaves with the effort.
That's right.
Make me a strength check.
Okay, that's D what?
It's a D20, and you're trying to roll your strength or less.
That's 13. I have a bonus though of +1 because I'm underground. So, ooh, and I just cleared it. 13. So,
All right. So you jam your long crowbar into that tight lock hole, and you
stiff.
pop it vigorously.
Yeah.
And I'm watching our Twitch like rating go from like R to like M and to AO as we just divulged into this poetry. You hear the pop of the lock snapping, like some tumblers snapping, and you hear the snap of something else, like tinny and high pitched. Roll me D6, Gustav.
Oh boy, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh no, nothing
Uh,
suspicious.
oh, I won. That could be really good or
So,
really bad.
yeah. So, uh, roll me a. So we're gonna do our first saving throw of the night. So you're gonna roll me a save versus poison. You're trying to roll your save or higher as you fling the lock open with reckless regard. You didn't pull your hand out in time. You didn't pull out in time, and a needle flings out from inside the lid of the box and gets you square in the ham.
Sweet. Let me see. Saving throw against
So that is your
poison is a
save versus
9.
poison. You're trying to roll
Ooh,
that or higher on a d20.
ooh, I just matched. I rolled a 9, so that's the second time I've rolled the
So
actual
you
value.
feel your hand go absolutely icy numb for a second, and you have this death grip on your crowbar, and you feel like this icy chill begin to go up your arm. Your hand twitches, and it relaxes. And luckily for you, eating all of that dirt and grime over all the years has given you a good, healthy system.
You
And
bet.
you realize that could have gone very badly indeed.
Yeah, I could have.
Uh,
All
um,
right. Is there
do
anything in the chest besides
yes.
poison needle? Okay, cool.
Also, roll me d4.
Got a 3.
All right, 3, and do it one more time.
Okay. That time was a 1.
All right. So as you had just forced this chest open, you also hear some things break from the effort, as to be expected. And so there is also a rush of smells like sour beer and something vaguely fruity. So the insides of the box get sticky, but you see inside the box there is a moldy paper box that contains 60 bullets, and probably Warwick perks up at that for his old lucky or old reliable. There are about 5 days worth of old canned rations. Most of
Mm-hmm.
the cans look good. Only some of them seem to be bulging uncomfortably large.
No, we'll give those ones to the hippie. They don't mind.
A revolver.
Dibs. Dibs. I got stabbed.
It has on its wood grip handle, there's like a rose that's been carved into it.
Cool.
One mildewed bedroll, a small leather sack. Actually, excuse me, not small. It is a large leather sack, and it sounds like
Oh,
there's
sorry, that's
coins in it.
mine.
There are some bottles of, I guess, what beer. 3 of them broke as you threw the chest open.
Damn it.
So you have 9 that are still sealed.
That's 3
There are,
apiece.
Dibs on
there are
6.
5 other bottles. You're not sure exactly what they are, but they have very bright caps, like crown caps on top. One of them broke, and it's giving you that weird fruity smell, like it's just too cloyingly sweet. And then one medical kit.
That's gonna come in handy. I have no doubt. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask Wario. Do you mind if I just take like 3 of these bullets before I hand the rest over to you, so I can stick a couple in this here revolver?
Okay.
Okay. Transaction proceeds.
So
I
you
also
get
take back my
3,
crowbar.
you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
3
yeah.
bullets, and he gets 57.
You know what? If I'm in a
I'll let you have
okay, yeah,
5.
5, yeah. If
Who
I'm in
said
a
there's not honor
situation,
amongst thieves?
right.
That way, if we
Yeah.
play
Well, the
roulette,
thing is, like, if I need
there's
if I
no
now
need
empty
more than
chamber.
5 to kill something, I'm probably screwed anyway. So
Mal, as you are puffing on your pipe and they're still divvying up treasure, roll me d6.
Does it matter if I am still reading poet? I'm not. I am spent. You said D6, sir.
Yeah.
we're all spent. It was a good scroll. That was a
That is a
worthy
4.
purchase.
All right. Perfectly good. Nothing
I
weird with that.
I compliment Mao on the selection of the poem for reading material and on purchasing it in the first place. I think that was
Oh no! This is my mother wrote this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
There's
family.
something of her that you can, hang on to. The bit about the throbbing tentacles was particularly moving.
There was a lot
Certain
of my
parts of me
mother.
moved.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of my mother that a lot of people hung on to, but it is tradition among my folk to pass down our most cherished memories, and my mother loved to get her some.
I'm so curious what poor Wayne is thinking as we're running this, and probably have no idea that
I can't tell if that's a vomit bucket or a popcorn bucket that he posted a little
no,
while ago.
Yeah,
that's
this is what
that's
happens
being food
when
rations. That's what I interpret
this
that
is
as.
what happens when your product meets a better idiot. They say you can't idiot proof a product. Like, yeah, we're stress
Oh
testing
shit!
dungeon plumbers
I just read that as I'm a
complete
Passover
fucking
observer.
idiots.
It's like, oh, me too, bud. Me too.
Uh,
um, oh fucking shit. Okay. My mother loved to get her son. Man,
It's-
no.
so feel
you
free,
know what?
whoever's. Hmm?
That's that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that motherly
There
love is a beautiful
isn't.
thing.
Anywho,
don't keep
there
him his mom.
is a delectable smell down here.
Okay.
I would like to find it.
All right. You
So
know
if
what?
we're done hodgepodging around here, why don't we do that?
I think even being chaosy, like a transaction is a transaction until I decide it isn't. So I figure, yeah, I'm gonna follow the shroom head. Me and my 5 bullets and my crusty femur.
So anyone taking the bottles of fluids, you're taking the revolver, but so the bottles of fluid, the leather sack full of.
Oh, I'll take the
oil?
leather sack.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All the fluids, just
All right.
Yeah.
So that
I'll let those knuckleheads have those. I'm gonna take the rations because I'm the responsible one of the party. I know
have
that it can get
no,
rough down
I
here.
already have rations because I'm the responsible one.
So do I. Also, I only need a half a ration
I
a
was
day
going to
when
say,
I'm
the
underground.
undermucker is a
I
great
have
survivor.
beers. Beers
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
rations.
I am a great provider.
I think we're forgetting that Ian is the actual responsible one, and none of us would
Yes.
have taken it. If
Well,
we
it's
hadn't
called
put it
role
on there.
playing. It's called role playing, John. I'm playing the role of a responsible.
I am always the responsible mother in the friends group. So
You're my mother. I've heard some things about you. That's all I'm saying. I've
All
read
right.
some things about you for an
Yeah.
audience.
You wrote some things. All right, let's go follow that truffle hound.
Yes, I'm going to be actively attempting to follow the fungal scent that I caught earlier.
I'm guessing it's a weird check.
yes, go ahead and make me a weird check to see if you get a whiff and maybe get a little bit of a direction of where that might be coming from.
Okay.
Or if something terrifying jumps out at you.
I need to roll under something, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Let's say I didn't.
Well, then in that case, you're getting a lot of smells, and you're getting some that's kind of maybe coming from the east, but also in the direction of the south. You're having a hard time kind of figuring out what it
Well,
is.
okay. I understand I failed that, but I would like to maybe cheat it a little by rolling intelligence to see if I can remember where I was smelling it when I first came in.
All right, go. Well, That I think would be almost more wisdom. I think in my book, make me a wisdom one.
Okay. I was going off memory, which seems more intelligence, but you are the GM, and oh boy, that's a natural 20.
Nice.
Are we still, hey guys, what even are sewers? How do they
That's a
do
Well, that's a
magnets
good
work out
question,
here?
Sean. The history of urban sewage location began with the Romans and no, it didn't.
See,
No.
here's the real kicker is technically when you're doing old school because you want to roll lower, a nat 20 is generally a failure in that
Oh
context
shit.
because you're
Yeah.
rolling maximum bad.
Yeah.
So really a nat 1 on your skills is your nat
Well, no,
20.
that's why I was saying, are we still underground? I was,
Oh, okay, good. Good.
yeah,
I was making sure. That's why I was like, okay.
no,
Oh,
I
I
was
didn't
no,
looking
get
no,
at
it.
my
no.
notes and only half.
I get it now.
No,
Okay, gotcha.
I was being an idiot because I rolled real bad.
Good.
And I am an idiot, so glad you explained it.
Oh,
Okay,
all right.
that is a fail and a fail. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um, I tell
I
you what.
but you know what? I am a hippie. I refuse to admit I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to lead the way.
Absolutely. So, from where this gambling platform is, so you can see that as you kind of go around this counter, that the sewer itself is laid out where you are in a roundabout feature, and that this platform is on one corner of this roundabout. From here, if you go all the way around, that basically you can go cardinal directions. That north would be going up where you came in from in this
Mhm.
dungeon. The dungeon keeps, or the sewer keeps flowing to the due east, and you get basically it's flowing in all cardinal directions. This platform where you're gambling does cross over and it kind of continues down and it runs parallel to the south. So you have a convenient walkway that is running parallel to the ever running effluvia of the city above you. So you can kind of go in any of these three direct major directions of east, west, and south.
Okay,
I
guys, I
think
have a question. Does
Yes.
okay.
somebody have a paper boat? Because I think what we do is we put it in the middle, and it
And
turns
then
around,
Pennywise fucking
and
gets
then
you.
we
all
follow
float
it.
down,
Idiot.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Are
Sorry.
you trying to basically deduce where the effluvia is going to be running?
No, I was making a stupid it joke, like I am wont to do.
Well,
Uh,
yes, but I was checking for practicality.
no, like I thought I got the impression that like things flow in all directions from here.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a 1 in 6 chance of getting the correct tool. I could go for it if you want.
Uh, go for it.
Like the actual paper
Oh, is
boat.
that like one of your like stone powers or whatever it is?
Yeah, a tunnel rat has a 1 in 6 chance of having any mundane tool or item.
God damn,
which I
that's
think the paper boat
handy.
that leads the way.
Jeez.
I love that kind of
Yeah,
rule in a game, by the way.
that's awesome. Yeah,
So what do you want me to
I
roll a d6?
I don't think we really want to find Pennywise. Like I do not advise us, equipped as we are, to take on a trans-dimensional monster that feeds on fear.
Hey, it is interesting that earlier last week Stephen King did raise an interesting
Man,
ambiguity.
I saw so much fucking idiocy from the horror author community about that
Yep.
post.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we'll not derail here then.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a whole thing that made me very angry.
So east, west, or south?
West.
Uh, east. I thought you said west.
I said west.
That's a SpongeBob joke.
I
So
like that.
you've thank you to the one person out there who probably get that joke one day. So you follow the sewer around the roundabout and you head due west. Definitely Gustav has the most sense about where they are geolocation wise on the sewer terrain.
I've got high wisdom, and I also like all my abilities seem to be perked up when I'm underground. So I think I'm like the dungeon plumber's equivalent of a dwarf, basically. because I'm also impervious to, well, not impervious to, but
The
I take less
disease and
damage from crushing and something else.
So like you don't fall in love very easily.
Yes. Yeah.
I kind of also saw the Undermucker as someone that actually survived and would live comfortably in a sewer compared to the other some of the characters being or classes being like tourists.
Look, man, Ninja Turtles, Morlocks, all the best people live in sewers, is all I'm saying. Or so we were led to believe
So
in the 1980s. I also have
Yeah.
vision that's twice as far underground, so I'm just trucking along with my, lantern lit, and
the
I don't know. Let's just continue till we find something interesting.
the one dumb reference, and I try not to make dumb references when I'm being a GM, is when everyone says like, "How far do I see?" or how far can I see?" I always think back to Dan Abnett's Eisenhorn with Cherubel in Book 3, where he says, "Cherubel, how far can you see?" Forever. No, practically. How far can you see? Oh, to the end of the hallway.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for casting.
Cherubael is fantastic, and
Thank you. So, as you were heading to the west, Gustav, are you still taking point?
yeah, yeah. I'm the
So,
slugger of the bunch. I got my shield. I'm ready to go.
so the tunnel. The sewer is extending perhaps 80 feet or more, running due west. There are lots of cobwebs that dangle from the top of the sewer, and as you are going through this, there's clumps of, well, you don't want to imagine what they are, like clinging to your boots, slippery in some spots. It's just unpleasant.
Not my
But
first rodeo.
the thing that you're starting to get is there's this odd rhythmic wheezing and
Hmm.
clicking sound. It sounds very regular. Click, click, wheeze, click, wheeze, click, click. And it repeats itself, getting louder as you are going progressively to the west. It looks like up ahead that there is a platform that spans over the channel that you're walking through.
Hmm.
So there's an asthmatic warforged up ahead.
Yes.
Let's.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not too scared of something that's wheezing. Plus, that seems mechanical to me by the sound of it. I'm very curious about what that is. I'm gonna go closer towards the sound.
So, so also just checking, are you say you've got good dark vision, but who is
Mhm.
actually holding a torch for light?
I'm holding my shield and a lantern,
Okay, you have your lantern up and not your bone.
so
Gotcha.
I should be able to see like a very far distance with my doubled sight underground.
So, as this sewer extends due west, you see this platform, and it looks like the platform extends north to south. So, once you get around the corner, you can get a good look. Just wanted to check in to see what Warwick and Mal are doing in the rear. Anything in particular I need to know about?
No, I'm just kind of following along. I'm glad that I'm off the hook for leading them to Mushroom Heaven, as they see, as they have taken the lead from me.
I mean, if you could have kept the fraud going. Anyway, yeah, so let's just get to that platform and see what's going on. You said it extends over the canal or whatever it is, right?
It does. There's a little bit of like a little bridge. I mean, by bridge, it's almost just level with the channel itself. So there's a
Okay,
little bit of
so
steps up.
I was gonna say, like, if it's a bridge, I for sure want to shine my lamp under it before we go over it. But yeah, okay, let's I'll cross that.
So, also for people that are listening, if you have any friends you want to pull on, if we get like 6 people in the chat, we'll do a giveaway of a copy of the PDF for our listeners. We'll have to figure out a good way to randomize.
No,
And for
that's
people,
easy. That's easy to do.
well, you've
Randomize.
got
I
the
can do that.
controls. And for
Yes.
people who are liking things so far, don't forget that you can get a copy right now of $10 in print, which is a steal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Just
Yep.
$10.
see,
Yeah.
I should buy
Or
you.
Sorry.
or bring in some motherfuckers to
Oh,
enjoy the
plus shipping
stream
and
with
handling.
you.
Don't forget, you do need to pay for your shipping and handling. Don't be a greedy bastard.
Bring
Uh,
some people to watch with you, and you can get it for free. John will pay your shipping and handling.
oh,
John will pay for your book.
see,
Maybe maybe
I was gonna buy a Pashti a copy since he was a gem and filled in for our guest
and
slot.
not only that, maybe if you bring more people in, you could win not only a copy of Dungeon Plumbers, maybe you could win a little something from NSR Press.
Ooh,
Maybe you could win a
We have
copy.
so much merch.
Maybe
we
you could win
need
a copy of The Crimes and Passions of John Staberger, which is only available from me personally.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So get some people in here.
So we need to set that up for the future for dang sure to incentivize people to check us live instead of just downloading us later. But as you were saying, you wanted to check out that platform. You do climb these
right.
slimy steps to go up. And as you look to the platform to your north, you see that there are these strange, large, very rusted iron tanks with some mechanisms off to the side. It looks like some type of pumping station, but really incredibly old. Most of the pumping chambers don't seem to have any electricity running to it, or they're so rusted they're not turning over. But there's one of these. Let's say there's 6 of these, and like 2 columns of 3. One in the last column, the last pumping on the right, it seems to be clicking and wheezing, and as you're getting closer to it, it's also making a gurgling sound as well.
Nice.
Above you, all of these tanks connect to just a rat's nest of various pipes. Looks like retrofitted at different ages to go all which ways. So there must be some strange building or something up above you where all of this is connected to, but it has not been functioning for quite some time.
Oh man. I would love to just fire that thing up and see what happens. I really hope that we maybe, flood like I don't know. What do you guys think? A daycare with raw sewage? I think that'd be fun. Um,
I don't know this man.
You see, you can't do an old person's home because it's
That's right.
expected. Orphanage, I mean, no one's gonna care. But a daycare, I
A
like
lot of
this
cleaning
idea.
up
This is
happens because of
it
that.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I
Yeah.
am. I don't think that my character is. Nothing in my bio says I was particularly mechanically inclined, but my wisdom is like hella high. So I'm just gonna have a look see and see if it's something that I recognize how to fix. So that's like what wisdom check, right?
Make me intelligence check. But
Okay.
you're not really a plumber yourself. You're just someone that lives in here. You're more good at, taking things out that shouldn't be in here rather than the fine, intricate electromechanical work that is needed.
You telling me that I'm
You're
what
the
the
type of
hell
person
is
that
it?
fix things by slapping your bone. Well, you're
Yeah,
applying it weapon,
I'm a
not
practical, not a theoretical.
yes. Are
Okay.
the rest of you joining Gustav, or are you hanging out in the sewer tunnel?
It's up to them if they're
I have
following me.
a other
What
notes.
was that?
I have
Yeah,
another notes question. On my character sheet, it says I have the ability to travel
I
through
knew,
sewer tunnels. Are
I
are
knew
the
you. I
pipes?
just as soon as you
Are
said
these
that.
pipes too small?
Yes, you
Or can,
I didn't. I so rudely cut you off 3 times. I say that again
no,
for
go
our
for it.
listeners.
So are the pipes big enough or small enough where I could squeeze
Yes,
through them?
so but they are dangling from the ceiling unless you break open one of these rusty iron tanks or have someone really boost you up to the ceiling.
But my high jump is
Good
45 feet.
fucking god.
What
Jesus.
kind of what class are you?
You're not a cricket man this time, Patchkey.
Yeah.
Uh
But I'm I'm not a Mario.
he's
I'm a-
absolutely right. So the skill
Waluigi definitely fucking Slender Man jumps up there and fucking steals my child, I guess. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Wayne, we're not friends anymore. Waluigi's
Oh my
25
God,
foot
that's-
jump.
quick,
That's fucking funny.
quick
Oh.
edit. It's up to 15 feet high, but up to 30 feet
That's
horizontal.
so high. Don't, oh, it's only over a house.
He is
Fuck
really
you.
Mario. That's so
so-
great.
Warwick, you move up to this tangle of very large pipes that are going all which way,
Wayne,
and
you
there
got
is
me.
one that is hanging in the center, straight down. That if you were to make your high jump check, you would do that wonk wonk sound as you like teleported up it. Are you wanting to make that check? Okay.
Yeah, I think I have
So
to at this
you will
point.
be making your high jump roll, which again is a 100 percentile, and you need to roll a 25 or less to get up there unassisted.
31.
So you fall just a couple inches short of grasping the rim and pulling yourself up. As you had jumped up, even though you didn't get up there, you could hear some sound coming down the pipe that isn't that clicking and wheezing sound from the broken mechanical bellows. There's something in there that was gurgling in a weird way, almost like in between like a if you took like a cat that was hissing and you put it underwater, so it was like a gurgle hiss sound thing. Very wet and weird.
Which is somehow less upsetting than the jump. I'm so
Wait, so we've got a mushroom mage on our team. Do you have
Yeah.
anything that could give my man's what he needs to get up into that pipe?
do
No.
I? Yeah, I do, but I'm not a monster.
If someone wants to give Warwick a boost of some kind,
Yeah, I'll boost Warwick up.
you could re-roll your high jump and see if you can't make it this time. Otherwise, you might as well just give up.
Mia Warwick. Mia gonna win. 12.
All right. So you, with the assistance of your comrades, they desperately want to see you get into some type of weird, uncomfortable situation. Probably all that erotic poetry from earlier of like people being stuck in awkward positions just gets the team really going. So you would help fling Warwick right into the middle of this pipe. You hear that weird, sinewy
Just like an alien
snap
egg.
sound as he dislocates his arm so he
Oh,
can
God.
shinny his way up the pipe. It always makes you gag a little bit, but you're kind of used to it at this point. So
It's the part they
you
edit out of the video games. Mario's like unfolding his skeleton.
Oh,
They're
no.
all triple jointed. Just
They have one. They have jaws
we're like
on
one-
hinge.
I was gonna say we're like one or two people away from getting the giveaway level, so we're getting there. So you start to go up this pipe, and it's very cramped. It's uncomfortable. What's strange is it's not difficult to navigate this pipe because it's greasy, and you're not. But the grease
yeah.
is very much like old cheese oil, like when cheese sits out in the sun and it begins to sweat. It smells like
tasty,
that.
yeah.
You start to go up this pipe. It gets wider, it gets narrower at various points. None of you, the rest of the party can see your legs dangling out awkwardly, and like the pipe is like comically bulging out as he is swimming up this pipe. And as you are going up this pipe, you're beginning to get this very strange odor that smells like lots of sweating old men and dogs left out in the rain and rotten banana peels, and then just pure effluvia, pure fecal odor. Whatever that is making that odor, you're realizing it's coming in like warm, like breezes, like breath. The further you're going up this tunnel, you're getting to hear that wet, growling, gurgling sound. It's intensifying. And you're seeing something further up this pipe that looks like tentacles. And as you're just hanging out, I guess, what are you doing at this point?
Well, so I'm entering the bathroom at the Nightvale Community Radio, and I'm seeing Koshek. First, I would probably take some of my garlic and hold it under my nose to cover up the smell. Can I poke an eye, just like one eyeball out to see more
Oh,
about
you're
the
not in a
room?
room. You're still in a pipe. And
I'm still in the
you
pipe, and I'm
can't
seeing
see
tentacles.
past what looks to be a very large clog of some kind. It almost looks like there's too bad that Mal's not up here, because there are things that look like large mushrooms, like little stalks with bulbs at the end, kind of coming out of this mass. And one of them opens up
Pocket a
and
couple.
blinks at you, and you notice that they're eye stalks. And there are like tentacles that are
Oh, I
seeping
don't pocket
down
them.
the sides of the tunnels coming towards you. And a toothy maw opens and just makes that hissing sound into an active, roaring, I guess, some type of gurgling, undulating roar whale sound.
It was nice to know you.
Comedically, I feel like I should plunge it.
I
feel
but
like the
do it
correct
to the
answer is
do
to
it to
shoot
the
it with
tune
my
of whip
gun.
it.
So,
Punch it good.
Rocket good.
oh goodness, oh goodness. Roll me 1d6 and let's see what happens to you, Warwick.
All right, what's my
Now-
modifier on this one gonna
So
be?
in BX, if there are things that don't fit into one of the standard roles, it's usually adjudicated by D6.
Okay.
So there's a lot of this kind of funky one-off things. This is one of the ones where there's nothing that modifies it. It's a let's see what happens. Okay.
I got a 4.
So this mouth opens up with these long, sharp teeth, and it looks like an anglerfish. At least that's one of the books you've seen floating around the sewer would call these things. And it just continues to hiss at you. And maybe it's your breath or maybe it's your presence, but it doesn't seem to be attacking you. Its tentacles kind of coil up to it, and its eye stalks move back in towards its mass. And you think it's beginning to squeegee itself up the pipe away from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Press my luck.
Yeah, right, you do.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Wait, you're
Onward.
gonna pursue it?
After Koshek.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wait, are you gonna join your party, or are you pursuing this shambling clog?
I think we want to pursue the clog. It's probably a terrible idea.
If you do not
I should do
pursue
it.
that clog, I will lose all respect for you.
I'll respect you either way.
Okay.
Charles is a liar.
I pull up.
He will
That's
lose
true,
respect
I
for you
am.
too.
Kind of a little bit, yeah.
I awkwardly reach into my pocket in a pipe and I finagle my gun out and I
Nice.
cock it. and I squeegee up the thing after
You
the
know,
cat.
I'm so curious what Wayne's reaction to this. If he's just like face palming and like
I think
this
he
is
I think he is curled up and is just lying on his side laughing at this point.
Or like cut to Wayne's computer. He's just walked away. It's just like empty.
There's an empty glass of bourbon.
He's had enough. He's just like,
Why did I agree to this bullshit?
all right. It's awkward and tight for you to be able to maneuver and finagle going into your inventory. You're already like dislocating your shoulder in that weird tunnel rat way. So it's beginning to sense your hostility because this has some rudimentary sense of intelligence and survivability about it, and you're in its lair. So we're going to see we're going to roll for initiative to see who gets the drop on who. So if you look on your character sheet, Warwick, you'll see your bonus to your initiative, and you're going
this
to be.
has got to be one of the only tabletop games where you get to roll initiative against a crawling sewer clog.
This is why people need to buy the book.
Actually, while because this seems to be taking a while, Mal reaches into a bag of mushrooms and eats one.
Which
bag, man?
That's a great question. Let's say even
for people who may have joined this chat.
Oh no! Don't tell them what it is. Let the results speak for themselves.
Oh, I was just going to
Gets
mention the
taller.
2 sacks.
The fun one.
So there are Mal has 2 sacks of mushrooms. One is mushroom jerky for eating. One is mushroom jerky for hallucinating. And the bags are not very well labeled. So I have a note on his character sheet saying, like, make sure you don't mix these bags up. So
I wanted to like to mention that when Mal got the big leather sack, he put both bags of mushrooms in that one sack.
so that
Just
big
salted
sack,
them
did
in.
you ever eat, so did you open the sack?
I mean, I had to put the mushrooms
It's
in there.
300 silver.
All right, well now it's
So it
300
was
silver and a bunch of
pulverized.
mushrooms.
Now
that
it's
is a
trail
heavy
mix
sack.
made
that
out
was
of
30 pounds. Like
That's
30
trail mix,
pounds
baby.
of coins.
So you got to roll,
that. Now it's trail mix made.
but now you got to roll a
of,
d3, or you might eat a coin.
Edible mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms.
Thank
and
you.
coins.
So the fantastic Wayne, to save me time from trying to like screen share and stuff, there is a picture of the thing in the chat that everyone but Bernard can see.
I will put it on our I'll put it on the
Please do.
screen.
Please do.
Wayne,
God,
Wayne,
What?
Wayne, this picture. That doesn't look like something I want to hug. But now I'm super stoned on
All right.
shrooms.
All right. So we'll handle this in a couple different actions. I'm going to handle the people outside of the pipe first, and then we're going to see what's going to happen in the pipe because this is kind of a dog leg here, a side avenue. So as you are eating your fun mushrooms, Mal, your tongue gets that distinctive flabbiness and goes numb, and you start to feel that little bit of that tingling in the back of your brain. Don't forget that once you are using a hallucinogenic mushroom, that basically can serve as almost like a spell slot for you in case. Yep. All right, so you are pre-planning.
Yeah.
All right. So
definitely, it definitely wasn't just because I thought it would be fun to do. This was a strategy.
Gustav, your friend is still in the pipe. Your compatriot here is starting to trip on shrooms, and you are just, I guess, still holding your lantern. What are you wanting to do as all this is beginning to unfold?
Well, let's see. I could eat a ration, but I don't really have to.
You do have tons. Now, remember, that's rations for 5 days you just picked up. So for you, that's 10 days.
10 days,
yeah. The other rations you have. So if you want
to,
I
haven't lost any points or anything yet, so I don't think it would be a waste. I really want to wait for Wario before we continue adventuring, but let's go back to that crazy clicking, wheezing machine. and inspect it closely and see if there's a component that I might apply what I like to call a little percussive maintenance to, which means I would hit it with my big femur until it started working again.
All right. So this looks to be one of the major pumps for the system. And it sounds like maybe a belt has stripped inside of its mechanical compartment, or perhaps there is some type of bent pump fan to help propel the fluid through the pipes. And probably this was one of the things that's maybe been supplying the shambling clog like moisture to its lair. So it's probably made a nice little ecosystem for it, and tampering with it is going to have some type of dire ecological outcomes for them.
I don't want to do that. I mean, I'm not this mushroom eating hippie over yonder, but I too care about the environment. And yeah, the little
Hello.
ones are kind of cute too. If you haven't ever seen one, um, just like anything, they're cutest when they're babies. So
So you're choosing not to smack this pump.
yeah, I'm not gonna smack the pump. The shambling clogs deserve to live and roam free and encounter people in pipes.
Well, while we're waiting to see how Warwick's actions play out, we're kind of truncating some of the OSE rules just for brevity since we have a shorter filming window. But normally, for every hour's worth of dungeoneering, you stop and you take a turn to eat rations and rest. So if you want to eat whatever those mystery tins
Yeah, all right.
are, knock yourself
Let me
out.
crack open one of the cans and see what's
There's
in
a
there.
there's a half of the tins are Aunt Millie's old fashioned sardines, and the other are it's just mysterious labeled chicken and lumps.
Chicken and lumps, 100%. That one was always my favorite growing up.
So these are really old cans. When you open it up, you can't tell which lump is chicken and which is the lump that's just called lump. But food is food, right?
That's right. It's all lumps, man.
So as you are facing this thing head first, Warwick, roll me d6 and let's see, what was your modifier to initiative? You have a +1 to your modifier
+1.
for your initiative.
I rolled a
So
3.
the clog makes this high-pitched whine sound, unlike the very kind of throttly, gurgly sound, and it whips out tentacles towards you.
No shit.
So there's a kind of this barrage of tentacles, and the first one tries to grip you by your shoulder, but you have so much grease that it just whips around like something out of that poetry that you read earlier. It makes you uncomfortable. The second tentacle seems to have some type of teeth on it, and it sinks into your flesh. You feel these barbs begin to just hook onto your arm muscles. So let's see what it would do, because it's just one attack. All right. That is not good for you at all. So it begins to basically rend you with its tentacle. I say rend, but then I only roll 3 damage. But this tendril just begins to slowly strip the flesh away from your shoulder. So you take 3 points of damage from it.
It rends you gently.
Rends you gently.
Which
I
is
should
one
probably save
which
my
is one of the
flavor
names
for
of the
after I roll
poems.
damage.
Um,
So you have pulled out your lucky revolver, old lucky as you call it, and you fire at this point blank.
Yeah.
So normally you would have like a -2 firing at point blank, but you're firing right into basically a wall of angry meat. So I can't imagine that you would have that -2. So just roll your normal attack and see if you're able to hit something vital as it's squirming around you.
all right. So D6.
So you're rolling
or
d20.
no,
So your yes,
D20 to hit.
d20
Okay.
plus 1.
That 13.
So you fire at it, and whereas you feel like you should hit this thing is made to live and move in pipes. So you,
1 sec.
what?
Does play. Total rat receives a +4 bonus to hit and doubles their damage against objects, structures, golems, blah blah blah, animals. Does that apply? Because then I'll get 4 more.
That is a great question. Let me adjudicate that. Animated objects. No, I mean that'd be inanimate object structure, Golden's constructs. That would not be since that is more construct based, and this thing is more
Alright.
of an aberration. But that is a very good thought to have. So
Hey, just had to check.
so you blast off a couple of these vestigial eye stalks of it, but you don't hit anything vital. It makes this gibbering, chittering sound in response to the deafeningly loud roar in the closed space that the two of you share, and you breathe that gun smoke smell.
That sweet,
So
sweet smell.
from below, you hear you hear a little bit of a shrieking sound, and then you hear gunfire coming from the pipe above you.
Yeah, that ain't good. uh,
It's fine. It's. You want a mushroom?
maybe a little later. Is there any way for me to get up in the pipe, or because I don't think
That
I'd
is
fit.
not really in your wheelhouse unless you can, contort like a circus, actor. You're not going to
Regrettably,
be able to do that.
no. So I guess I'm gonna pour out a little bit of chicken and lumps for my man Wario. I hope he makes it back, but I'll see him at the crossroads. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna start sort of inspecting the perimeter of the platform, seeing if there's anything valuable or interesting, or any way that I might sneak off toward to get that gold, baby. Because that's
There,
why
so
I do this stuff.
there's a very large wrench. The wrench itself is as long as your arm, that is horribly rusted. That maybe if you spend some time acid washing and scrubbing, you might be able to restore it to a functional piece of equipment.
I'll
Other
take it.
than that, there's nothing here. It seems as if the area has been picked clean. You're not too. If you would like to make an intelligence roll to see if you've encountered these things before, you might know a little bit more about their behavior.
That's a D20. Let's see my intelligence, and I'm trying to roll under right for this.
That's correct.
I fail that terribly. I'm very dumb.
So, a question as we are going forward, since we had a delayed start, what is our cutoff for the day? Just as I start to plan what's going to happen from here.
Yeah, we have about 24 more minutes for everything.
That includes show announcements and everything like that too.
All right, so this is going all right. So
Can I see the Ian? Can I see the bulge in the pipe where the clog is?
are you still reading the erotic poetry as you're tripping on mushrooms?
I'm not talking about the bulge in my pipe. I know where that is, sir. I may be high as fuck, but I know where my bulge is.
So unfortunately, this is outside.
You're so high, you're treating on the plumbing.
This is outside of your ability to see the bulge. As remember that your companion was chasing this thing up the pipe, so it is in the ceiling beyond where you can reach. So where you and Gustav are, you're having a hard time focusing as you're getting like the double vision that
Yep.
starts to
Yep.
precede the full hallucination.
I grab Gustav by the shoulders.
You're in another one of these roundabouts as far as the sewer itself is. So from here, you can go due north. You can continue going west. Instead of going due south from here, you have a little bit of a side junction of where the sewer itself kind of dog legs a bit. But this platform that you're standing does extend further to the south, and then it jogs to the west out of sight. So you have some options if you were going to leave your companion in the pipes to fend for themselves.
I grab Gustav by the shoulders. I tell him, listen to me. Have I ever led you astray before?
I'm very tempted to hit him with the femur.
Um,
You know
Before
what?
he can. Okay, go ahead.
You know what? If the mushroom head thinks he can find the mushrooms, maybe this trip won't be a total bust. And I'm just thinking this to myself, so I shouldn't say it out loud because then John will know.
Gustav, you can get in that pipe, and I use hypnotism.
What do I have to throw?
Oh my god. This is going to be interesting. So you're going to make a save versus spells?
All right, let's see. Oh, hey, how about a natural one? That's actually
Oh,
pretty good in this case.
No,
all right.
save. I thought saves you tried to get over.
Say again?
I thought with saves you were trying to get over.
Yes. So by rolling
Oh.
a nat 1, he means
You
to
are
just
hypnotized
utterly-
as fuck, my friend.
All right. So
All right.
I start trying desperately to get into the pipe that's too small for me.
You
So,
have to believe, Gustav.
All right. So with hypnotism, so that is one of that's your second level spell.
Yeah.
So sorry, that's your first level spell, but you can affect multiple subjects if you want. But that's what you're basically using it with your shroom power. All right.
Yeah.
So you make a suggestion, a short phrase, which was basically get in the pipe. So the challenge is the pipe is off the ground, so you are gonna have to give him a boost, and he's still gonna have to make a dexterity check to jump up there. But if he's not gonna physically fit, so this is gonna be strange. But all right,
I know.
I believe. Look,
are you gonna?
here's
Are
the
you
thing.
going to help
I
him?
believe in the power of. I believe in the power of mind over matter, and now his mind firmly believes that he can get in that pipe.
See,
I'm high as
I believe
fuck,
that
so
he
I know.
knows. I believe that he knows I was just going to wait until he was too high and then take all that silver out of the bag. I think this
So-
is his revenge. So
Are-
let's do my dexterity check. I roll a
Are you going to
5.
give him a boost?
Yes.
Okay. So
I rolled
you
a
still rolled
5.
5? All right.
Yeah.
So you remember exactly how to dislocate your shoulders, just like Warwick. Give me your best Warwick impression.
Wah.
So you
Delicious.
yourself with the power of belief. You jam yourself headfirst in this too small pipe, grab him to the
Sounds like
side,
that.
and begin to just up the pipe and try to cram yourself in. You have the weight of a massive tentacled beast, all of Warwick, and Warwick has a lot of equipment. You have pounds and pounds of canned chicken and lumps and all the other things, and you're pulling on the pipe system. The iron bellow thing begins to wheeze uncomfortably and frantically as you're feeling the pipe begin to loosen. In your hallucinating mind, or hypnotic mind, you're swimming through this pipe like a fish. In practicality, you're
Beautiful.
like a stuck pig, flailing your limbs and pulling on this pipe. Warwick, you're feeling the pipe itself begin to loosen, and you're feeling this whole thing is going to collapse. The shambling clog makes this very curious, like "erp" sound, and then it begins to
It's the smartest out of
shriek
all of us.
like a dog, and begins to whimper as the whole pipe just breaks from the ceiling, and drops you, Warwick, and all of you in a heap. The creature, roll me a d6, Warwick.
1.
The creature makes a horrified sound as it comes into. So, also, this is going to be fun because I forgot that you also had a lantern that you probably set down. So you fell on the lantern. There's lamp oil, a broken pipe. All of you fall together. So each of you is going to
The
be
pipe's full of
taking
grease too.
d6
Let's not forget
damage
about
from
that.
falling. You're falling into fire, and the shambling clog sees the fire. You've violated its nest. It runs off shrieking down up the sewer to the north, trying to put out the fire on its junk hide. So, Warwick, you take 5 points from falling from your height and 2 points of fire damage as your trusted, beloved mustache catches on fire. So that's 7 points of
Aw.
damage altogether.
Ah!
And you, Gustav, take your 4 points of damage from falling and just 1 point from the lantern itself. Meanwhile, the shrooms are really beginning to kick in now, and you're
We've
watching
solved your
slow
pipe
motion.
mystery.
What?
I raise my hands and say, "Victory! We've solved the pipe mystery."
like like Mozart is like playing in your mind as you see all this like happening in slow motion. Like every little like flake of dust is moving. You see like
I
all this
start
happen.
crying, just like it's so
The
beautiful.
most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
So encounter successfully failed. So you have exactly. Wayne does mention that now that you've broken this pipe and you've rattled things loose, you have this frantic iron bellows wheezing. It's now going to just basically be spattering crap, like trickling diarrhea through a fan just out of the hole as you have loosened ancient gunk. So you have
A
a
job well
couple
done.
directions that you can head. And what do we have before we need to do end of game announcements? We still have what, 10 minutes of play or something? So we get another encounter in?
We have about 5 minutes of play.
I
Ah,
think
so
this
we're not delaying
seems
for,
like-
for our okay.
Yeah, it seems like a nice natural stopping point since we've successfully fucked this place up.
I mean, in my mind, we got the cat out of the tree,
We did, yeah.
right?
I have a bag of gold and did drugs.
Yeah, dude. Of all of us, the hippie came away rich and high, and like, I gotta say, that's winning in my book.
Like, yeah, that's a good day for John.
And
I mean, Mal.
Pashki, props on the Night Vale reference. I was loving that. The cat, yeah, we saved the tentacled cat.
And Wayne brings a good point. We'll just have to play this game more offline because we can get to use the fun, weird new equipment that some of you have. And
I love it.
didn't
Like, I
tap
love
into the
this.
weird
Yeah.
stuff. What?
Oh, I was just saying, like, Wayne, props. I very much enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to look next Wednesday, a week from today. We're going to discuss actually playing it and our opinions on all this.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, as someone who reads modules and supplements for fun, this was a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ian, go ahead.
So for frame of reference, basically, as far as a number of encounters that you bumped into 3 actual encounters. There are rounding really. There are 68 encounters basically in this one adventure. Now that's
Amazing.
not including the random encounter tables that happen. Every hour you roll for one monster or for certain things. So this is the tip of the iceberg. You didn't get to the really cool fungal colony that I was really hoping you would get to, but you'll have to follow your nose another time. all kinds of fun things in here, including even maybe a shrine to some heretical gods in here, which
This
I was
is the
Ooh.
hoping you'd get
This
to.
is the problem with letting Ian run things. Is like as soon as we get close to time to call it, he's like, "Yeah, but there's so much more cool shit to show you."
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we need to either run along the game time, or we need to make sure the internet gods like us when we, since we had
Yeah.
Twitch problems earlier. But
New
yeah,
format,
So
still new.
we
Or would
have
people
six
be in?
people in the chat right now. Do, 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 do. I'm going to roll a d6, and and whoever is on that is the winner.
There you go.
yeah, I was gonna say because there's really 5 because Wayne's in it.
Yeah, but I'm going to for the for giving people stuff away, like giving stuff away, I'm going to count him. For actually rolling, I won't.
All right.
Let's see. That is Bastion 1418.
You're a lucky winner.
Yay!
Is that
Go
someone we
Bastion.
know? Is that one of our new friends?
It's someone who's been chatting this whole
I know,
time,
chicken
so I
and
know they're a
lumps.
real person. Bastion,
Always a plus. Yeah.
you can
They're real people.
send me. Oh yeah. Tell you what. Email. Bastion. Email. Wayne there to hook you up with the PDF, and I will. He can email me your address, and I will send you a copy of the Crimes and Passions of John Stabberger.
You'll enjoy it, I promise.
It's I mean,
Hot
look,
nasties.
it's a book about a
Let's
Jewish
not
superhero
say it.
killing
Okay.
Nazis.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Are we not allowed to say
Unaliving,
that N word on
unaliving
Twitch?
Nazis.
No, we are. It was more like the K word I was worried about, but
Yeah,
anyway.
unaliving, I think is what we're supposed to say. But
Yes,
let's play
okay.
video games where they kill things all the time.
Shoot, I need to be careful of what language we use when we're playing an RPG. Then
No.
Nah,
It's all
I think it's
contextual. Yeah.
yeah, it's all it's the idea of it being a threat that could get us in
yes,
trouble.
no.
Nobody's
Okay,
being threatened.
so
At any
friends,
rate, yeah.
this has been wondering. It kind
Hey,
of
hang on.
Yeah,
Before
we still what?
we have a major announcement to make. For
Yeah.
Wednesday.
I was about to get into it.
Oh, good.
okay.
I thought you were about using sign-off language. I'm like, no, we have
No.
announcements.
No, look, if I say thank you so much for joining, that's when I'm signing off. Okay. So look, this has been Wandering Monster. For a long time it was the Monster Manual podcast with me and Charles and Lemons. Then for a little while it was just me and Charles. For an outside observer, it looked like Ian and Charles Patchkey kind of joined us at the same time, but in fact, Ian joined us as an actual cast member pretty much as soon as we met the motherfucker at Murder HoboCon. We immediately became friends and realized that we were all great friends and invited him to join the thing. And then he invited Charles to be a guest gamer. And despite our attempts to constantly bring new people into the show, like people kept ducking on us and Patchkey kept being there for us. So as of tonight, Charles Patchkey is an official co-host, full cast member of Wandering Monster.
Hooray!
So you're not going to be seeing, like, you haven't seen rotating host yet, and you still won't.
No, you will sometimes.
Sometimes,
Possibly.
if
Yeah.
someone can't make it, we will keep the show rolling by bringing in a guest player.
Yeah.
But Patchkey is our full-time, full friend runner, and maybe helping me produce it, which will be lovely.
And more than just
do what I
being
can.
there for us when we needed him, he is like probably the most like bonkers out of the four of us with his gameplay, which I love. Like I
Yeah,
love.
no, for
It's
sure.
great. Yeah,
He brings
great dynamic.
brings a
Fire
great
rules.
energy. So we're very happy to welcome him to the
Yeah.
show. So I will update the I updated it to add his name to his little screen there as a full cast member, but we'll be adding his socials that he wants to add later. If you're looking for us as a podcast, you can find us at Juan Moncast on Twitter and on Facebook. You can find us, our game company, Madness Heart Games, at MHP_games. And you can find the whole goddamn company, every book we publish for Gotta Try It, Madness Heart Press, and Madness Heart Games at madnessheart.press. Speaking of which, Ian and I have been working so fucking hard on a brand
Working
new game.
feverishly. Yeah.
On a brand new game that we will be launching sometime in the next 2 months called Godless League Adventures, which John Stadberger is from. So it's going to be really cool. If you're looking for me as an author, you can find me at Kaiju Poet or at my website, www.kaijupoet.com, where you can order signed books, or you can just click on links to Amazon or Godless, where you can buy my books if you are more comfortable doing that. Charles, hit us.
Yeah. So, if you are looking for my stuff, best place to find it is either on my Twitter account at CRBernard, which is where I post like most of what I'm up to. Or you can go to tinyurl.com/ all lowercase Charles R. Bernard, where there is the big annotated index of my work in anthologies and magazines, and I have a novel out and an essay about Satanism published in a book of essays about Satanism and all kinds of stuff. So go there and get some stuff and make me happy. And Mr. Servas, if the fine people of the internet want to harass you and throw things at you and say mean things to you, where do they go?
Well, they can go F themselves. No.
That's fair. That's a good answer, honestly.
It was.
Protect yourself.
Best possible answer.
Well, that's a good question. I am somewhere available in the interwebs, and my goal will be before next time we play that I will get those socials updated. The ones here, the screen are accurate for now, but they will be streamlined, and I'll get a nice one of those tiny URLs. Just that you are so fond
I
of.
think we probably need to build a Madness Heart Press website at this point, y'all.
I
think
will
that's next
say
on my
so far
to-do list.
the sample introductory module that I am writing for the Godless League Adventures, there is a significant. It does basically focus around sewers. Now I'm just putting it out there, basically. So
It does.
perhaps it was all of the reading of DP for the evening led me to writing a sewer-themed first adventure. So might involve mutants, might involve sewers. You'll find out once you get the book. And then we have, last but not least,
Mr. Pashke on most things. If you want to see a picture of the best meatloaf I've made this year, it's on Instagram.
Nice.
it looked really good. It did.
I love a meatloaf.
And
Yeah.
that's who we are. Upcoming, we do have some new books coming out. Oh man. So this, if you look at the logo in the corner of the screen, you'll see it has the Madness Heart Games logo. Madness Heart Games is a imprint of Madness Heart Press, which several of us are members of that little organization. We do have some new books coming out this month, starting with Little Lugosi from Doug Ford, which is a bizarro love story about a leech, which also features a wild hog named the Minister.
I love Doug Ford so much.
Doug Ford's so
He's
fucking
the
good,
best,
y'all.
yeah.
He sent me another bizarro novella. It's just like, yeah, okay.
I love
but
that he's shaping young minds too. That makes me
Oh
happy.
yeah. So his book comes out on on this Friday on Godless, and then on the 15th on Amazon. Furthermore, we have Shane McKenzie is coming out of retirement for a 3-book spread with Madness Heart Press, starting with Addicted to the Dead Relapse Edition, which features a new short story and a novella That drops on 420 on Godless, and on 430 for paperback and Amazon. And on that note, if you live in the Central Texas area, please join us at Ghoulish Book Fest in San Antonio, hosted by Max Booth III. I'll be there. Manisar Press will be there. Susan Snyder will be there. Jay Wilburn will be there. Lucas Mangum, Shane McKenzie, Andrew Hilbert, Miguel Myers, Zach Chapman,
All your favorites. They're all
all
there.
yeah, and there's a bunch more people who have been published. Brian Asman will be there, the guy who wrote Man Fuck This House. Which is currently #1 on Amazon for occult horror. It's a good book.
I'm gonna unseat that dude one day.
I hope.
I'll be the
Not
title
because I don't
catcher.
love Brian, but because I want you to succeed wildly.
Spread my leathery wings and fly.
So that's what we have coming up. Next week
And-
we're doing another double week. I think it'll probably be okay. We have 2 more weeks of doubles, and then we will slow down. Next
Jesus
week on
H.
Monday.
Christ, I hope so.
Yeah, no, we all need it. Next week on Monday, we will be playing The Real Thing, the Faith No More inspired tabletop RPG in the Powered by the Apocalypse system. Yours truly is going to run that. So
And look,
we're
just gonna try and prep you for that one.
We'll see what happens, because
you want it all, but you can't have it.
What is it?
It's corn. I'm actually going to turn it into a corn themed thing.
Oh no. No. We can't disrespect our illustrious sponsors, but
it's Hey, the second I see a goddamn penny,
you know what I mean.
Corn does follow our account. Yeah, Corn does
all I
follow
saw
the
was the
Wandering
90s, and I was
Monster
in.
Yep.
No, so we're gonna play that. I'll be running it. Then on Wednesday we will talk about that game and this game, about how we feel about the mechanics, the stories, the books, all that good stuff. Followed by the 18th, we will be playing what, Ian?
It's tentative. I'm still waiting for confirmation about scheduling, so I can't officially announce it. But hopefully, we are going to have on the book soon. We'll have Jay Dragon of Wander Home fame running Yazba's Bed and Breakfast for us.
Amazing.
Jay isn't able to align Jay's schedule with ours. Then it'll be yours truly running at some point during that week. But that is primarily a storytelling game that is a wonderful slice of life, and it is a balm for world-weary souls, and is a different story than where we unalive things in pipes and read erotic poetry.
And it is likely the next thing we run after that will be Godless League Adventures.
Nice.
We'll probably do that we're going to be playtesting it. If you come to see us live, you might get to see us do that. If you don't follow us live, we'll probably stop the recording before we playtest. But then at some point when we feel ready, we'll actually run the damn thing on air so you can see the mechanics and what it is like. I think that's everything. Anyone? Yeah, did I miss anything?
Any final words of wisdom while you're in the chat, Wayne? Any takeaways for our viewers that we should include? Putting you on the spot. You might not be on a keyboard now because it's late in the thread.
I just remember, like in the 80s and 90s, my final words of wisdom. It seemed like every children's cartoon or whatever like had sewers involved in it, and like every game had a sewer level, and like it's just
Sewer
weird to
level,
think
ice
about.
level, baby.
Yeah. It's weird to think about.
The hardest level
Friends,
of the game. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on this consensual sewer journey we call Wandering Monster. I have been John Baltusberger.
I have been Charles R. Bernard.
I have been Ian Servas.
I've been Charles Paskey.
And Wayne says it's been super fun. Thanks for having me. Keep an eye on Weird Valley Press on Drive Through RPG for future releases, and Dungeon Plumbers on Facebook. We'll be back next week. Until then, stay safe, but stay scared.